Welcome to Huff Goes to the Movies. My name is Eric Huffman II. Most people call me Huff. Some people know I love going to the movies. And it is the big day. It is Oscar Sunday, the biggest night for movies, for the movie industry. And of course, as someone who covers movies and loves to talk about them, what would I be if I didn't have my own list of Oscar predictions going into tonight? I have been making Oscar predictions for more than a decade now, usually on some form of social media. But now that I have a channel, this is absolutely the best outlet for it. And it's always fun to compare predictions with other people. And obviously the bragging rights at the end of the night are always fun for at least a few days. So going into this, I do need to let a few things be known. First, I am not an expert. Listen, I have been following the awards news just like I'm sure you all have. And so I have just been going with what has been trending in certain directions. So these are predictions for what I think will win, not necessarily what I think should win. There were some glaring omissions from this year's nominees. There were definitely some performers who I thought were snubbed, but there's nothing we can do about that now. So we have to go with the nominees that we actually have. And this will be for all 23 categories. A few years ago, the Best Sound category was combined into one. It used to be Best Sound Editing and Best Sound Mixing. Personally, I kind of think they should go back to it being two sound categories since sound editing and sound mixing aren't the same thing. But since films usually swept those categories, I guess it makes sense that they just combined it to Best Sound. And also, not that I'll spend too much time on this, but stunt coordination, stunt performers, they should be recognized at the Oscars too. Almost every movie has a stunt person, so why are these things not being celebrated with everything else? It's beyond me. And so, let's not waste any more time. I'm gonna go through all 23 categories. For categories like Best VFX, Best Film Editing, Best Hair and Makeup, there are people who are sort of specifically nominated in those fields, but I'm just gonna go with the names of the movies for those, because I do not know the names of everyone, and it's definitely a lot faster to just say the names of the movies. So let's not waste any more time. And actually, let's start with the ones that are never the easy calls. Let's go with the short films. So for Best Documentary Short Subject, I am predicting that The Elephant Whisperers will walk away with that one. It is streaming on Netflix. I have not seen it. I usually don't see any of the short films before the awards because historically they haven't been available for public consumption until after the awards, but that's my pick there. For Best Animated Short, I'm gonna go with The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. That is streaming on Apple TV+. For Best Live Action Short, I will go with Les Poupiers. I think that's how that's pronounced. It's streaming on Hulu and Disney+. I'll be sure to check that out sometime in the near future. But now getting to some of the more craft categories. For Best Costume Design, I think that's going to Elvis. For Best Production Design, I believe that's going to go to Babylon. For Best Hair and Makeup, I'm going to go with Elvis. For the more technical categories, for Best Sound, I think that one is pretty easily going to Top Gun Maverick. If you've seen Top Gun Maverick, you probably already could tell. Best Visual Effects, this is probably going to be the easiest call of the night. Avatar: The Way of Water. And at this point, I feel like everyone has seen it, so everyone probably understands why. For Best Cinematography, I think that's going to go to All Quiet on the Western Front. For Best Film Editing, I'm gonna take a chance. I think that's gonna go to Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that this is one of those awards that usually is a good calling card for the Best Picture winner. So I probably just gave an indication as to what I think will win Best Picture, but we will get to that in just a moment. For Best Original Score, I think that's gonna go to All Quiet on the Western Front. For Best Original Song, I think that is gonna go to Naatu Naatu from RRR. A film that should have been nominated for the next category, Best International Feature. I think that's going to go to All Quiet on the Western Front. For Best Animated Feature, I believe Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio will walk away with that one. For Best Documentary Feature, several months ago, this is one that I would have actually picked Moon Age Daydream for, the David Bowie documentary. I got to see it at TIFF. I loved it. It seemed like the critics loved it too. So of course, this was going to be a thing that was going to become a favorite for Best Documentary Feature. Oh, but it didn't get nominated. So, given what we have, I think that one's gonna go to Navalny, which is now streaming on HBO Max. And now we go into more of the quote-unquote majors. So, for Best Adapted Screenplay, I believe that's gonna be Sarah Polley for the film Women Talking, which, as of right now, is the most viewed video on my channel. So, if you wanna know my thoughts on Women Talking, you can check out the review. For Best Original Screenplay, I believe the Daniels are gonna walk away with that one for Everything Everywhere All at Once. And now we get into the performance categories. For Best Supporting Actress, I would not have believed this even a few days ago, but in looking at how things have shaped out over the course of the award season, I actually think that Carrie Condon will win this for the Banshees of Inisherin. I thought she was great in the film, but even when I saw that film a few months ago, I thought, there was clearly only one person who was destined to win this, but then the BAFTAs happened, the Screen Actors Guild Awards happened, and now I think it's Carrie's to lose. For Best Supporting Actor, I think this will be Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. He has essentially swept this category all through the award season. I think it's well-deserved. I think that this is sort of a wonderful story that folks at the Academy could, look back on after Sunday night and go, yeah, we make good things happen. For Best Lead Actor, I believe Austin Butler's role as Elvis will get him the Oscar. Even over Brendan Fraser, someone who is a veteran in this industry. I just think that when you look at the sum total of nominations for Elvis, things are kind of trending for Austin Butler. For Best Lead Actress, I think Michelle Yeoh's got this. It has really been sort of a two-horse race with her and Cate Blanchett for Tar, but I just have this feeling like this is going to be the year for Michelle Yeoh. She is a legend. She is someone who, over the last few years, I think has started to do more roles that have really reminded American audiences of just how great she is, even though she has a body of work going back decades. And with all the sort of momentum going to Everything Everywhere All at Once, I just feel like this is going to go Michelle Yeoh's way. For Best Director, I think the Daniels are going to win that. And it's funny, this has been one of those years where it seems like every month, the tone of who could walk away with Best Director has changed. When I first saw The Fabelmans, despite the fact that I didn't love it, I thought, okay, yeah, Steven Spielberg, right? Like this is his most personal film. He is probably the most accomplished director that's still living. So, of course, this one will go to him. That's what I thought just a few months ago. And then as we started to push through award season, that sort of momentum would be passed around to the different people who would eventually be nominated in this category. But after the DGAs, I feel like this year goes to the Daniels. And that leaves Best Picture, which I believe is going to go to Everything Everywhere All at Once, which is actually my favorite film of 2022. So one of those rare years where the film that looks poised to win Best Picture was actually, in my opinion, the best thing I saw. So those are my predictions for the nominees. I take no responsibility for any money that anyone loses placing bets on these, but I've been following the Oscars for a long time, and I've been following news all through the award season, and I feel like a lot of the momentum for these things is, this is just where it's leading me. And I don't know that I agree that all of these things necessarily deserve these awards, but hey, listen, I'm not a member of the Academy. I can only go with the information that is put out there. So that's how I'm feeling about that. I've done okay with Oscar predictions in the past. Last year I went 21-2. A few years before that I went 20-4. So I've had some successes with this. So we will see. But Jump down in the comments. Let me know what you guys are thinking as far as my predictions. What are some of your predictions for the Oscars tonight? Are there any areas where we differ? I mean, Angela Bassett seemed like a clear favorite for Best Supporting Actress for a long time. So are there any of you who believe that this will be her year? Let me know. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon. That way you can stay up to date with everything going on here. Once again, my name is Eric Huffman II. Most people call me Huff. Stay sweaty, my friends. I will see you at the movies. Peace.